the question is a character that I have to say, other than the animated Justice League shows, I don't know much about, right? But the question is a character that they started developing a show or a movie around like almost 7 years ago. I think it was like, so it's been almost a decade that this character has been in development hell, like a lot of characters over at DC, it seems like. But finally, it looks like we might be getting a series based on the question, and we might be getting it in the new DCU. So John, like I wanted to ask you, what did you think about this news? Now, this isn't confirmed, but if they do end up making a TV show featuring the question, I mean, look, the character has so much potential because when you look at, what the character is all about, being a detective, I think you can tell new mystery noir stories. It's almost like the Twilight Zone crossed over with DC. That's what comes to my mind. What comes to your mind?
I think it could definitely be something along the lines of like an old classic film noir from like the 1940s put into um, the DC universe. The closest thing I think of, not as embellished or as exaggerated, but something like Sin City could definitely like kind of be that sort of through line. Obviously, way like not a Robert the like not Frank Miller, not Frank Miller, not Robert Rodriguez. Just a lot more downplayed and focusing more on like heavy film noirs. Like if they get someone who's like more aware of that, um, that could definitely be something really good. And there's so many iterations. Like you have the original Ditko version, you have the DCAU version, you have the '90s Denny O'Neil version. So you have like a lot of different ways that you could take this character, and I think it could be really interesting, and it could definitely build the sort of like the gritty underbelly of the DC universe, not just in Hub City, um, which is his neighborhood, which is where he usually is stationed out of, but like just like that sort of like really gritty sort of thing, like kind of like what Rogue One and Andor was for Star Wars, like that, just or what Solo tried to be, like just sort of like the stuff that you don't even see, not even for Batman, like the stuff that you really don't like, the really messed up, visceral, brutal stuff that DC doesn't really get into a lot. And I think doing that for a question show, which is huge because he's such a great cult character. There was even a really good fan edit of like a fake trailer for like a question show for HBO Max that somebody made. I believe the user was KR Presents. Go check that out because that was definitely a really good um, fake trailer and definitely the vibe that they should go for. And I think it would just be so cool to see him. It would, just like at the end of the day, it would be cool and awesome. And even though he's too old, screw it. Have Jeffrey Combs play him because he was already perfect in the DCAU. Just have him play him. Um, so that would just be so exciting to me. Like the question needs to be answered. I guess you could say like he needs that time to shine in terms of that more attention, mainstream attention. I think that would just be really awesome. Whether that be for chapter one or chapter two is up in the air if it is true. So I just hope it, I pray it is, because that would just be so awesome to see.
I personally think that this character has infinite potential because exactly what you just described, I'm like, this could totally be like the Twilight Zone crossed over with DC, and that's what we're getting, or like an even darker version of maybe like what we're used to seeing with some Batman tales. And whether it's I think they're gonna eventually maybe start this out as a TV series, but I would love to even see him in a movie. I think you can probably make a really cool film noir sort of a movie out of this as well. And it's another character that when you think about DC characters, you're not thinking about like the top five characters you come up with will not include the question, but he's a character that's got a lot of potential. And I think better realized as a live action character than maybe even as an animated character because there's so much nuance to what the premise of his character, and the kind of stories that he's associated with in the comics, and I really look forward to seeing this. Whether it's chapter 2 or chapter 1, I hope that we're gonna get this character in the DCU, because I love mystery thrillers, and I think the comic book genre has not quite explored that subgenre as much as it should, and I would love to see the question. Yeah, I mean, I don't think my face is describing the excitement that I had when I saw this story. Like, yeah, I would love to see this. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Is the question a character you'd finally love to see, come to life in the DCU, or is this just gonna be in development hell forever? Let us know in the comments, and like and subscribe for more content like this.